I'm Geoff Nemnich.
And I'm Rick Paulette.
And we're the hosts of The Last Stand. Coyote hunting is my passion.
And coyote calls are my livelihood.
And together we aim to bring you the best predator hunting tips, tricks, and tactics, right down to The Last Stand.
The Last Stand, presented by Lucky Duck Predator Calls. We are the masters of deception. Swagger bipods. Shoot with confidence, shoot with swagger. On-X Hunt. Know where you stand. Hornady. Accurate, deadly, dependable.
So I'm excited to be making our annual trip down to Arizona with Dustin. We've been doing this now for 6 years. Started back when the World Coyote Calling Championships were down in Arizona. We started coming down, we started finding spots, we started scouting spots. Arizona's chock full of public land. So over the years, we've gathered up some pretty good spots.
So last year we came down and we hunted some public stuff and made a really good run through, and it happened to be during deer season, and we had a lot of other stuff working against us, and it just ended up working out to be one of the better days we've had calling, and we had the film crew with us.
I'm sure you all saw the amazing video we captured. It's the 16 coyotes in a day video from season 2. We kind of got into a new area last year, and we're excited to get back into that area because we just kind of learned it. We took what we learned last year, we kind of took On-X maps, we found a few more spots, and we put together a really good plan. And we're excited about getting back into that area again and seeing what it has to offer this year. I don't know, man, I get pretty excited about hunting coyotes, but something about showing up in Arizona. First stand of the trip. Dustin and I have been coming down to Arizona now for 6-7 years. We started coming down here for the world competition back in like 2014, 2015. We've kind of made it an annual trip now. We're not hunting any more contests down here, but man, just awesome country, tons of coyotes. We're gonna slip into this first stand, see if we can't start this trip off with a bang. Let's do it. So knowing what last year held for us, our expectations are extremely high. There's a local rancher down in that area that we talk to every now and then. You know, he told us they've been seeing quite a few coyotes. You know, he did give me a little bit of information on our way down there that I probably didn't take to heart enough. He told me about a big die-off in the rabbits they had earlier this spring. First stand in Arizona. Just got a massive flat here. We got some yellow grass mixed in. We got some scattered, I don't know, these mesquite trees. Got some yucca plants. It's almost dead calm. We spotted a coyote driving in. We just heard a bunch of coyotes howling back over here, so. You know, early on in the morning, we noticed a real difference from the last year we were down here.
There wasn't any tall yellow grass. There wasn't any yellow grass really to speak of. All it was short gray grasses, and the gray grasses are last year's grass, yellow grass is this year's grass, and that was kind of a foreshadowing of what was to come.
The second thing we noticed is we're not seeing the coyote sign that we were seeing last year. And we are here a month later. As you remember from the video last year, we were there right during the heart of rifle deer season. So this year we specifically planned it a month later so we'd miss all that. We start knocking out stands, the wind direction is perfect, just what the weather app said it was gonna be. And we're making stands where we called coyotes last year, and we don't see anything.
So coyote hunting is kind of a constant, ever-changing battle with the coyote. It's you versus the coyote, and one of the constants that you really need on just about every single stand is the wind direction. You need to have that wind direction stay steady. You got to be able to play the wind. You got to be able to isolate the coyote and make sure the coyote's not going to be able to get to your wind because they're coming for it.
Well, our dry streak continues. We made 4 stands in a row without calling in a coyote. It's the middle part of the morning now. We're getting it for the rest of the day. We're gonna get down into a little thicker stuff. We were trying some new, more open areas, hoping to get some better video, but it just didn't pan out. So I think game plan, getting some tight cover the rest of the day. Let Dustin do some work with shotgun.
This is, believe, the 4th stand into the day, and I heard some running behind me on this stand, and again the winds were switching all over the place, but look over to my left and there's a coyote about 5 yards away. And that was the first coyote of the trip that we called in. Came from over our left shoulder, and I got to shotgun it, but when they come in from behind, it's no good for footage, so it makes it tough with the film crew.
Well, I'm assuming Dustin got it. All I could see was dust coming up in the sun through all the brush there. The coyote actually came from right behind us, which is very typical in our experience down in this thick brush country like this. Sometimes you hope they're in front of us. We had the wind right. The wind's actually blowing right back to our left here. Truck's just parked back behind here in a clump of taller brush, probably 50 yards, and that's right where the coyote came from. It
was like right there, just twice as far as where my shells are. He just came running right around this bush right here. Stopped, spun around, and then went through there. My first shot was at that first bush right there. I don't know how it didn't pile them up, but shooting them in the butt with the shotgun is never a good thing. You always have to keep shooting.
Would he come running right through this gap right here?
Right here. He was right here.
He come right around that corner right there?
Yeah, he just came running right around this corner, whipped around, went running that way, and I just boop, 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 boop.
All I could see, I never saw the coyote. All I could see was with the sun angle, I just kept seeing dust coming through the brush. Boy, we're on the board.
We just had to break the seal.
That's right.
Now the rest are gonna come out right in front of us.
So when you're calling these big, vast expanses of ground, you'll find some sort of two-track. And a lot of times what we'll do is we'll get the wind right, and you kind of start on the downwind part, and you follow that two-track, and you go in, and you make a stand, and then you're basically driving through the area that you just got done calling, and you'll go maybe a half mile, 3/4 of a mile, maybe even a mile, depending on the wind direction, the wind speed, the terrain, and then you set up and make another stand. But when you do that, you're anticipating that coyotes should not come from behind you because you just called that area. And on this particular stand, we had just done that. We had just made a stand up through the saddle, called down into this area, didn't have any response, so we got in the truck, we followed the two-track down, we got a little closer to this deep wash down in the bottom where the cover was. We walked in and made a stand, looked perfect out in front of us. I actually crawled up on a big rock outcropping where I could see, where I could have a little more visibility with the rifle. Dustin was down below with the shotgun. Maybe halfway through the stand, I happened to look back over my shoulder, and here's a coyote coming from directly behind us. Right here, behind you. Behind. Christmas. Right where we just got done calling. Right where the wind was going, right where we called. I mean, what do? I mean, sometimes that's just what happens. You know, luckily we were quick enough and good enough on the trigger to get this coyote killed, but everything that I know about coyote hunting told me that coyote should have not came from there, that coyote should have spooked off and ran off long before it got right below me on the rock, right behind Dustin. Dustin beat me to the trigger, second coyote of the day. So now we're into the main run last year where we killed 8 or 9 coyotes in a row in 8 or 9 stands. And so I'm excited. It's almost the same time of day, the same wind direction as last year. Now I'm just anticipating that here's where the day is gonna start. Here's where things are gonna get fun. And we make stand after stand after stand and nothing.
Going through these stands all day long, it was starting to get pretty depressing to not see any coyotes on any of these stands. I don't think that they were there and just not coming, they just weren't around. There wasn't any sign showing that they were there or anything like that.
Now all of a sudden, you know, as Rick would say, if he was here, the daubers are down. And we just realized that, you know, for whatever reason, it's not gonna be a repeat of last year. And now my mind's turning. I'm starting to think about this rabbit disease, and you know, maybe that had a huge impact on the coyote population out here. If all the rabbits are dying off right about the time coyotes are having litters of pups, you know, really what impact does that have? And all this is going through my mind, and we're trying to figure out what's going on. Why aren't these coyotes here? Are there coyotes here? Are they just not wanting to come to the call? We don't know, but all you can do is grind out those stands and hope sooner or later that things are going to line up and a coyote's going to come running in.
We got into one of the shotgun stands where I cartwheeled one right into the call, and it's a stand I love. It's a great stand.
Just watching this coyote run in from the left, and the coyote almost looks at us nonchalantly, and it just kind of continues to run up to the call. Dustin, boom, one shot with a shotgun and cartwheels it right into the revolt. Just a phenomenal stand. So it was fun to set back up on that stand. When you set up on stands like that where you've killed and called coyotes, you always have flashbacks sometimes of the cool stuff that happened there. So you're wanting things like that to happen every time.
We called that one, and again, nothing had came in right away. Nothing was responding to rabbits. Most of the stuff was coming into vocals and coyote fights and stuff like that. But we had played coyote fights for a little bit, and towards the end of the stand, Geoff called it a stand. We stood up and we're getting ready to leave, and I looked over my left shoulder downwind towards the truck, and there was actually a coyote coming across the open. He was running towards us. Probably 300 coming.
I turned my remote off, so it's gonna take a while. Shh. I fire the call up.
Here he comes. Right here. You on him? Couldn't take it anymore. He's tired of this show being the last straw. It needs to be the last stand. We need to start killing them. So hopefully that's a sign of what's to come. Hopefully we get some more on film here at the end of the day and get into a new area.
That was good, man. Once again, just another coyote coming in from not.
How about that though? Remote off, standing up. It actually took almost the same exact path that the other coyote did. It just hung up a little bit further out, and that's where I got to shoot my rifle for the first time around Geoff on these films and kill a coyote with my rifle.
So at this point in the day, pretty much every coyote has came in from behind us or hard left over our left shoulder. Nothing's came out front. Our main goal is to try to shotgun a coyote right at the call. That's the kind of footage we like to bring you guys. That's our main goal. So on this particular stand, the sun's dropping, shadows are getting long. We decided to purposely split up, and Dustin's gonna specifically cover the downwind. I ended up going to the call. Dustin passed me his shotgun. I left mine in the truck. I didn't think I was gonna need it. So I set up on the call on one side of the hill, kind of covering the upwind. Dustin's on the back side of the hill with the rifle covering the downwind. Well, the sun's fading fast on us. It's been a rough day. We've killed some, but not near what we were expecting today. Just hoping to maybe get one knocked down here in the last two stands of the day. Wind's a little funky direction with the sun right now, so we're trying to not have to look back into the sun. But in order to do that, the wind's just not right, so we're gonna give up the sun, not give up the wind. Hoping the coyote's up on this flat and he'll come down off this bank here. We'll get a good shot at him. Dustin's covering the backside.
Coming up the bottom to the call. I don't think they see it.
Yeah, I got it. Gun jammed.
That was cool. It came right up the county road.
Well, that coyote came from straight downwind. I don't know. He ended up right at the call. I got one shot at him right over the top of the call as he was bailing in there. I got some pellets into him. It looked like it broke his back. He ended up going across the way there. Ended up finishing him off at 51 yards over there. It's only been about 3 minutes. Get some pup stress going here and see what happens. Hey, guess where he came from? Over the left shoulder.
We watched it.
You did?
He came up the 2-track.
Oh, jeez. Was he coming hard?
Oh yeah, screaming hard. Came up the 2-track and then just bombed right over this little knob right here.
Yeah?
Like as fast as he could, he was coming up, and then he must have just came running
Oh
right
yeah,
up
he right there. Sean saw him, and he kind of checked up and was kind of trotting sideways right over the top of the call when I just kind of bailing off down in there a little bit. And I must have broke his back or something, because then I thought he was going to go down the thing, but he comes up the hill, but he wasn't going very good.
And then you got him.
And then the gun jammed. I was about halfway up, and by the time I got the thing, he was up to the top, and that one finished him off.
You running a shotgun's about like me running an AR. That was super cool from our point of view.
You know, all in all, you know, it was a disappointing day. You know, it didn't turn out the way we wanted to, but it was fun making those stands again that we made last year and kind of reliving all those memories from last year. You know, whether it was the rabbits, whether it was the drought, who knows what. I do know this, that, you know, there were a lot of coyotes in there last year, and that was for a specific reason. They weren't in there this year, but who knows, next year it may be loaded again and we'll be back.